You're traveling through another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. Journey into a wondrous land whose boundaries are that of imagination. KWTN 100.9 FM. Well, today's the day, folks. We have a special kind of what we call, you had the idea, DJ Bessami, MC BKC, and DJ Eebz in the house here today from the
MC Eebz.
MC Eebz. All
Mick
right.
Eebz.
Mick Eebz.
Mick Eebz in the house. Okay, so we kind of had tossed around the idea that we wanted to do and get people's spooky stories.
Yes.
So we're gonna try it. All right. So each of us are gonna have a story to tell, and then we'll kind of go from there. All right. Any questions? Maybe if you folks have a spooky story or something of paranormal activity, you can put it in the chat. We'll read it. You can comment. You can text us. What's the text line?
We have a text line. It's 402-922-3347.
Okay, so these are going to be short stories. What we're about to say here, we don't want nobody to be scared tonight. We're not responsible for nightmares, bad dreams, therapy sessions, or anything like that. But nonetheless, are you guys ready?
It is ready.
Sure.
It is tradition before we get to storytelling. We have to make sure that need some water. We got to crack one, right?
Yes.
All right, so here we go. Some Sprite Zeros.
Yes.
I'll go first.
All right.
Then who we got going second? DJ.
Me.
Okay. And then we'll go to MC Eebz.
Yep.
And then we'll go and end out today's session. We got 4 good stories for you folks. Okay. I'll try to set the stage for you. Here's my story. No.
Do you know where that came from?
The cha-cha-cha.
Yeah.
No.
It was the son, of course, who became Jason Voorhees. You know, and remember we talked about him on the Bago Talks?
Yes.
His mom. Do you remember her name right offhand? I just went out of my... No. Anyway, it was him basically chanting back to his mother. And it became, you know, more of a ch sound.
Yeah.
But it was kill.
Dang.
Yeah.
Did not know that. Wow. Special edition of the Big Voice Radio. We're telling spooky stories because today is a holiday for all those trick-or-treating. Make sure you guys be safe. I just want to say, there's a couple things that happen around here. You know, maybe we could share those too.
Sure. But
in this building there's some stuff, you know what I mean? Like, for one, this closet behind me has never really been used, you know what I mean? But sometimes I would just kind of get freaked out if it started to open, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just so you know, nobody's over there in that closet and in that other room. But nonetheless, I'm going to take you back when I was 14 years of age. This actually happened to me.
all right.
In the summer times, I used to spend it with my Uncle Sam, and he lived in Arizona. His wife was Hopi, and they would go out into the homestead out in the Hopi lands, and it's past Flagstaff. And there in the Hopi lands, they would have Kachina dances.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And they have what are called kivas.
Yes.
All right, so you go down there, and I never been down there or anything like that, but they would sing all night, and they would take, you know, and bury, you know, the relatives that started their journey. They would take them down there. I don't know what they did and stuff, you know, so it's very, very interesting. It's nice out there in Arizona, especially in the summertime. So I used to sleep out in the truck bed. And one night, you know, the Kachinas were singing. And it's a very kind of like, it's not like powwow music. It's very, very kind of like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's almost like a hum, but it's very, very kind of, yeah. And it's like they say their words and everything. And again, I'm not Hopi or anything like that, but it was very, very interesting. I fell asleep. And in the middle of the night, I awoke to this big, giant looking thing, like it looked like a bat. And it had red eyes, and it was floating over me. Mind you, I was outside. The stars, and I could feel the wings flapping on me. And like, so you ever hear of sleep paralysis?
Yes.
Where
That's where you can't move, right?
where you cannot move, but you're awake. And
scary.
I was trying to scream, I was trying to like wake myself up. My heart was beating and stuff, and I could feel the things, and I could hear the kachinas, you know what I mean, still singing. Man, I tried everything to wake myself up, and this thing was gonna get me. Finally, it came in for the kill, and then boom, my eyes awoke. I was like, my heart, like, seriously. And that happened when I was a teenager, and I still remember that to this day. The scariest thing that ever happened in my life was a dream that I had. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. It was crazy. So that's I never seen like, you know, the things that we don't speak about. But you know what I mean? Like, I never seen something like that. But that was probably the closest when I was in sleep paralysis and stuff. You know what I mean? So, very interesting.
Sleep paralysis, we've all been there. I myself several times.
Yes.
And it freaks you out.
It does, man. Don't you just try to like...
Yes.
You know, I'm feeling like a deja vu, but I mean, I can't remember any specific stories, but as you were telling it, I remember that happening to me before. You know, when you're just
you're stuck.
You're screaming and nobody hears you.
Tell
And you try so hard to move, and you're just unable to.
Forget about it, man. That's my story. What you got, DJ Bessami?
Forget about it, man.
I know. Okay, so mine is gonna be. It actually happened up in this area on this hill that we have up here.
Okay.
So. There's a playground located behind St. Augustine's.
Yes.
So rewind a little bit. Some details on it is that this was the summer after I graduated, which is back in 2012. And so we were just like out and about. It was late night, and we were just trying to find somewhere to hang out. So we came up to the park that's up here located behind the church.
Okay.
Behind St. Augustine's. And so there's like the park's like right here. For those that are visually able to see, it's like woods are off to the side, and there's woods all around the area up here and whatnot. So anyways, we pull up, you know, we all get out. It was myself and 3 of my friends, and we get out, and like I was making my way to the park. I was the furthest along, and then like I was trying to get a swing, so I was trying to like beat them to the swings, which is kind of on the tips of the woods right there. The woods are directly behind the swing sets. And so anyways, I'm walking towards it, and then we kind of hear like someone singing. Like we could hear like some drums and like them singing powwow songs.
Yeah.
And I am not even kidding. We all seen a fire off to the distance in the woods, like a little campfire. And like we could hear the powwow sing, and we just booked it and left.
Oh man, up here.
Yep, up here.
I tell
Over
you.
there. Over there.
Over there.
Over there.
Yes.
Dang,
But, yeah.
boy.
Oi.
Did you guys talk about me? Like, come on now.
We
you
just
know?
all I got dropped off after that. Everybody went home. It was spooky. It gave you that chilling, like scared feeling,
I
you
know
know.
what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The hair on your arm standing up. I just kind of got that when you were making mention of that, because we all drive up this way.
Yeah. Yep. And I have quite a few. There's another one. I used to live in these apartments up here, and I seen a shadow in my apartment before.
Forget
I was the
about
only
it.
one home.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So it's pretty haunted up this way. I'll just say that much. That's what I got.
Can we turn the lights on? That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Nod.
And that's all, folks.
All right.
All right.
Next up.
All right. Okay, this is back when I was like 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys ever heard of the Lucky Lady.
Yes.
It used to be a nightclub in Sioux City.
Okay.
And when we were teenagers on Sunday nights, we could go and we could pay a fee, go in, and it was all the free pop you could drink. And, you know, me and a couple of my buddies, me and Troy Smith, rest in peace, and then Charlie Aldridge. Well, we had my brother's truck. He was off in the military, and my dad gave him a truck, but then he let me drive it while my brother was gone. Well, we're up in the city, and we're coming back, and it was, you know, I think they closed at midnight, and we were supposed to be home at midnight, so we was kind of booking it a little bit. We was coming back, and we got about, I don't know, maybe 2 miles outside of Homer, coming back towards Homer, and off to the southwest, in the sky, you could see something hovering, and there was a beam of light that came down from it, and it shined down on the ground like it was trying to pick something up. And we're like, did you see that? Well, I'm driving, and I'm like, man, I slam on the brakes, I'm pulling over, and I jump out, and when I look up, that beam of light shot up into whatever it was, and took off like nothing. We never knew what it was. Never heard anybody else ever talk about it, but I swear it was a UFO, man. Because I mean, and then come to find out, there's a waste pond over there, and that's the only thing over there. So there's nothing there. But that, I'm telling you, being white, it came down as it got down to the ground, it got bigger. But as I was pulling over and trying to stop, I seen that thing retract and then just shoot off, take off. And it was gone. There was no lights, no nothing. I mean, there was no helicopter. And, that's the only thing that can hover.
Yeah.
And there was no noise. It was quiet. And we watched it.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And it was this is around here. This is before
Homer.
drones and stuff, right?
Oh yeah, way before drones, before cell phones. We couldn't get out and take a picture of it. I mean, we had landlines.
The rotary phones.
You went to the payphone at Pronto.
So we stopped at the payphone at Pronto.
Just laughed at it. No, that's.
But yeah, I don't know.
So you actually seen one?
I believe so.
Man, because
To this day.
wow, I was talking about my story about down in Arizona, and you remember they did film those. There was 4 lights that were just hovering, and they couldn't explain it. You know, they called all the Air Force bases, and Area 51 is down there and everything, but they couldn't explain it. And I remember like Unsolved Mysteries, and they were talking about UFOs, unidentified flying objects. You seen one?
All I know, one of the coolest things that I've in my life is in Arizona, the meteor where it hit, that dent in the ground it leaves. That was so cool to me just to be there and to witness it, man. I mean,
dang.
I mean, I have an understanding how the Ice Age happened. And to me, because I mean, when I was in Iraq, or actually in Kuwait, and they had the oil wells burning, there was so much smoke that was created up in the sky that it changed the temperature of the earth. And so I can imagine if a meteor hit and started all of the United States on fire, that there would be so much smoke that it'd block the sun from reaching the earth and then freeze. Well, I mean, over there it's 120 degrees, all of a sudden it drops down to 80.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and that's from a drive from here to downtown because there's so much smoke in the air. I mean, from the oil wells burning. So I get how that could happen. And it was just neat, man. It's like a mile long across.
Man, and that's crazy. I know a guy that you're the guy that seen a UFO. You know what I mean? So that is crazy. I never seen one, but man, there's just some things that are unexplainable.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's one of them. Good story.
Yes.
Wow.
MCBKC.
Well, of course, I actually have 2 of them. The first one isn't really that scary. It's just something that makes you think because, you know, we're always told, you know, we're never alone and that kind of thing and whatever else. And so the first one, it's not scary. It just kind of gives you that vibe or whatever. So this past spring, when I was doing what I'm calling a hype video for what was coming to be the 158th annual homecoming celebration powwow.
So this was just not too long ago.
Yeah, just this past earlier. It was early in the spring because the leaves were just now starting to come out on the trees and bud. And you guys can still see that video on the Facebook page for Winnebago Indian News. It is still there. Because I started at the top of, you know, where Grand Entry comes in, where the dancers come in, and then they go down the landing pad, so to speak, and then they get into the arena. I started my video. I recorded it. It wasn't live because I wanted the quality. So I started at the top, you know, slowly walked down the Grand Entry slope or whatever. At the bottom of the grass, I panned left, then right, and then I came back, so I was basically looking at as much of the arena as possible. It was just slightly breezy that day. The sun was shining nice and bright, and it was really nice. It was a nice spring day.
Yes.
And so when I stopped recording, in order for Facebook to take it up, it has to be what's called rendered, meaning that, you know, it goes through a process and it's able to be uploaded. So while my phone was doing that, because the audio was on and I wasn't, you know, trying to breathe real hard and whatever, you know, because it was just me. I was literally the only one there. And so when I was watching it and I walked down and when I was panning left and right, after I finally came back to get the final shot showing kind of, you know, the drum pit and stuff like that, the phone recognized and rendered audio because it put in captions, "Who are you?"
Oh, I know what you're talking about. No way. Are you serious?
Yes. And so to that point, because I saw that, I mean, I wasn't speaking, you know, I mean, I was literally all alone, standing at the edge of the arena. The grass was just now getting green, all that kind of stuff. But it recognized that voice. Someone or something made it render. And you know,
nobody was around.
Absolutely not. No.
And you didn't say it.
No. Oh gosh, no.
And the Facebook said, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
In the captions.
Because it was recognizing audio and it said, "Who are you?" So I stopped whatever, and you know, I did my mediocre Ho Chunk introduction.
So you felt something that you had to kind of identify yourself.
My clan and what my name was and all that kind of stuff. So whatever, and I just left it at that. But yeah, so that kind of thing happens. So my actual scary, well, I don't want to say scary, just creepy story. Okay.
Yeah.
A friend of mine who lives on a different reservation was telling me about something that happened in kind of their circle. I don't think it was her child, but where she lives, they were near a place where they were going into a new housing development. And so, of course, when they do that, they put in the streets and then they dig the area for the basements and the foundation and stuff like that. So she told her son, don't be going over there. It's dangerous. Stay out, because they're construction going on. So during one of the weekends, she couldn't find her son, so she went outside and she was yelling for him, and then sure enough he came running back she said, I told you not to go over there, who knows what construction, blah 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 and stuff like that. She said, well, we were just playing. And she looked at her son and she said, who's we? And she said, the little boy that came out of the ground. And so they were digging a basement, and she said, what? And she said, yeah, he came up from the hole that was there, and then he said he was going to tell me what's going to happen.
What?
Yeah. And so when
how old's the boy?
Just a young boy, probably 5, 6, 7, somewhere in that range, whatever. And so so strange things happen on other
So
ones.
you guys want a creepy one? You guys said scary. I got
You
a
had your
creepy one.
chance. Not.
So, back in 2017, me and my kids decided to move to New Mexico. Didn't know what part of New Mexico. We were just kind of heading out, and we're going down. We stayed in Colorado for a couple of days, a couple hotels while we took off. And I mean, I was kind of balling a little bit. So those first 2 nights, we got motel with rooms, with a pool and all that stuff, and jacuzzi. Well, I'm done now. I'm done balling. I need to get a regular hotel. But I can't find one. Nothing. I had 2 days of balling. So we was going hard. I mean, me and a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, shoot, man. And anyway, so I can't find a hotel for under $100. So I'm driving down the interstate, and I'm in Colorado, going to New Mexico, driving on, I think it's Interstate 70 or somewhere. And we're just driving. I can't find nothing. I'm looking at my phone, checking my internet. Can't find nothing. I finally give up. Said, well, we'll just drive until I get tired. I don't know. It's about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're way up on some kind of pass in the mountains. And we're in between New Mexico and Colorado. And I'm putting in gas, and I'm tired. And I look up, and there's a hotel that says vacancies. I'm like, all right. And then there's underneath it says $35. I'm like, hey, that's us. Let's go. So I really hurry up, fill up the gas, and go over there. They got all kinds of rooms open. I go in, check in, tell them who I am. Tell them about my kids, and they give us a room, and it's all the way on the end of the it's a motel, not a hotel. So it's a drive up. You drive up and you walk into your room. You don't have to walk through the hallway. So we get up and we're all the way at the end of the hotel, up on the top, and we got to walk up the stairs and get up there. And we've been traveling, and then I was eating out of a cooler, so I took the cooler, I fed the kids, man. Don't ever give kids blueberries on a white sheet bed. It does not come out.
Okay.
Forget about it.
So I put the kids to bed, and I'm getting ready to put them to bed. Dad, can you come lay with us? All right. So I lay down. I come in. I turn off the light and I lay down. And I look up at the ceiling, and glow in the dark paint. It says, "I can see you."
Oh wait! Oh gosh!
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. And I'm like, I'm trying to close my eyes. So I can't see. I have to turn the light. So I'm laying there again. I'm still laying there. Pretty soon those guys are out, so I go outside, look around,
At a $35 motel.
$35 motel, man. I mean, and these guys got ski stuff, it's all the ski bums, and I'm like, man. So I go back inside, and I try to sleep with the light on. I can't. I have to turn it off, and finally I fall asleep, and I wake back up, and it doesn't glow in the dark no more. And I was like, man, but I was looking all over the room for cameras. I mean, I was checking the bathroom, and shoot, I was wiping down the mirror, and shoot. But yeah, that was pretty weird.
Dang, boy.
Creepy.
Yeah, you never know with camera. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. It's like it wasn't necessarily the scary. It's like some weirdo was watching, and it's like,
somebody just pulled a prank on everybody who stays in that room. Ooh. And you know what? I never even told them.
Left it for the next one.
Shoot.
Why ruin their fun?
All right, well, we want to make mention there that in honor of kind of today's special activities and stuff, we appreciate everybody tuning in, and I know there's some honorable mentions out there, you know what I mean, that are really good. And one is like picking up a hitchhiker. You ever hear that story where they're not into what you call it, you know, and it's pretty interesting. And then what else is there? There's
well, another lady that I knew told a story like that because one of her girlfriends or whatever. Again, you know, I know it's always like that, but she was telling us one of her girlfriends came over hysterical one night to her house because she said that her sister got dropped off, and she said that the people that were driving, they picked up a hitchhiker, and then when they dropped the hitchhiker off at the other end of town because they were going in different direction, whatever, while they were driving, they were talking to this person, whatever. So then her sister came back and she mentioned somebody, and then they all looked at her because that person had passed on. And they were like, yeah, and they was like, where is, and she said the name, and I won't say the name, you know, and so whatever, and she said, they've been gone. And they were like, we picked them up, and so it was like just one of those things. So
on that same note, I have a similar story like that, and it happened here in Winnebago. Shout out to my good longtime brother and sister from another mister and another mother, Parrish Jacobs and Taves Smokesavon. We were just out cruising. We went down to the river route, you know, we're cruising out in the river. And so, like, we're coming on that BIA road into, like, by the BIA, and there was this old lady walking. And, like, she was just, like, she didn't have no shoes on or nothing like that, but, like, she just looked like she, like, needed help. And, like, I was looking at Parrish, like, don't pick her up.
Oh, my God.
I'm like, don't pick her up. Like, I'm you know, whatever. She picks her up. She stops. We let her get in. So we're bringing her into town, and, like, she was trying to have us drop her off in the valley here in Winnebago. And so, and I don't even know who this was. I don't even know if she was real. Like, we don't know. And so we tried to drop her off in the valley, and we pull up to one of the houses. She wouldn't get out, and she's like talking to herself. She's like missing a dog, talking about a dog. And like my brother Tabe is sitting in back with her. I'm sitting in front with Parrish. And so like I like feel something in back of me, and I'm just like, I didn't want to look back. Like, I'm just scared. And then Tabe's back there with her, but we end up dropping her off because we couldn't, she just like was talking to herself, and like, when we were trying to drop her off in the valley, she wouldn't get out, and then so Parrish ends up dropping her off at the PD, and like then we leave, and like, but there was no like, we just don't know like the outcome of what happened after that, and we don't even know who that was or what, but yeah, we found her down by the, you know, down out in the country, gave her a ride into town, and we just don't know.
I know people always, you know, they tell various kind of spooky or creepy stories, or whatever, but that's never happened to me down there, ever.
Yeah.
Luckily, thank you.
And you know, maybe she was from around here, we don't know, but she just had no shoes on. She just looked all distraught, and just her hair was everywhere, and like it was late at night.
Man. Well, that was today's episode of our spooky stories. We want to hear from you guys if you guys have one. And yeah, we appreciate everybody. So you guys have a good day. KWTN 100.9 FM. Happy Halloween, everybody.
That door's opening.
Bye. Anyway.